I did 200 push-ups every day for 30 days, and by day 22, I couldn't lift my arms above my shoulder. That's not a flex, that's a warning, because what happened to my body, scientifically, is something nobody talks about. And if you're thinking about doing this challenge, you need to watch this first. It sounds simple, right? Drop to the floor, push up, 200 times, do it again tomorrow. People do this all the time. Fitness influencers swear by it. Reddit threads call it life-changing. Here's what they don't tell you. Here's why I did it. I'd been lifting weights for 3 years, plateau after plateau. I wanted to strip everything back. No gym, no equipment. Just me, the floor, and 200 reps every single day. My expectations, bigger chest, stronger shoulders, a visible transformation in 30 days. What I got instead was a lesson in what happens when you push a muscle past its limit without ever letting it recover. And the science behind it is genuinely disturbing. Here's what push-ups actually do to muscle tissue. Every rep creates microscopic tears in your pectoral fibers, your anterior deltoids, your triceps. That's not damage. That's the point. The body repairs those tears and builds them back thicker, stronger. But, and this is critical, that repair only happens during rest, not during the set, not between sets, during sleep, during recovery days. So when you do 200 push-ups on Monday, your body starts repairing on Monday night. And if you do 200 more on Tuesday, you've interrupted the repair cycle. You're tearing muscle that hasn't finished healing. Do that for 30 days straight, and you're not building, you're grinding. There's a concept in sports science called cumulative fatigue. Each workout adds a small debt to your nervous system. One debt is fine, the body handles it. But stack 22 consecutive days of high volume pushing, that debt compounds. Your tendons, the connective tissue around your shoulder joint, don't adapt as fast as muscle. Muscle adapts in days, tendons take weeks. So while your chest might feel okay, your rotator cuff is silently falling behind. That's the hidden injury waiting to happen. Mine wasn't silent for very long. Here's something nobody in the fitness space wants to admit. Chronic overtraining, doing too much, too often, with too little rest, actually raises your cortisol levels. Cortisol is your stress hormone. In small doses, it's fine, helpful even. But chronically elevated cortisol suppresses testosterone. It impairs sleep. It breaks down muscle rather than building it. So past a certain point, you're not just failing to gain muscle, you're actively losing it. Your nervous system starts treating the workout as a threat instead of a stimulus. Reaction time slow, focus drops, everything feels harder. I noticed this around day 18. I just didn't know what I was looking at yet. Week 1 felt like a victory. Day 1, 200 reps broken into sets of 25, felt manageable, pumped. Day 3, chest was sore but I pushed through. Day 5, I actually noticed my form improving. My elbows were tracking better, core was tighter. Day 7, I remember thinking, this is going to work. That confidence was a mistake. Week 2 is where the cracks started. Day 9, I needed an extra hour to finish my reps. Fatigue was real. Day 11, my left shoulder started clicking. Not painful yet, just there. Every rep, click. Day 13, sleep got worse. Waking up at 3 a.m., arms aching. I thought I was just being dramatic. Day 14, I checked the mirror. My chest hadn't visibly changed, not 1 millimeter, but I told myself, 2 more weeks. Trust the process. I kept going. Week 3 was genuinely brutal. Day 15, the click in my shoulder became a sharp pinch on the downward phase. I modified my hand position, kept going. Day 17, I started dreading the reps, not in a challenging way, in a please let this be over way. Day 19, my performance dropped. Sets of 25 became sets of 12, then 8, then grinding out the last few with bad form and pure stubbornness. Day 20, I measured my chest, same as week 1, same as week 1. And then week 4 started, day 21 morning, alarm goes off at 6 a.m. I stare at the ceiling for a full minute before I even sit up. My arms feel like concrete. Not the good kind of soreness where you know you worked hard, the heavy, dead kind, the kind that tells you something is wrong, but I get up anyway, because at this point it wasn't about fitness anymore, it was about ego. I told people I was doing this, I'd filmed the first few days, I'd posted about it. Quitting on day 21 felt worse than the pain. That's the trap nobody warns you about with these challenges. You stop doing it for your body, you start doing it for the idea of finishing. And here's what that does to your head. Every morning became a negotiation. My brain would run through excuses, my shoulders clicking. You didn't sleep, you're already weaker than yesterday. Just skip today. And then the other voice, the stubborn one, would shut it down. You said 30 days. 30 days means 30 days. What I didn't realize is that second voice wasn't discipline, it was denial. There's a difference. Discipline is doing the hard thing when it's uncomfortable. Denial is doing the hard thing when your body is actively breaking down and you're pretending you can't feel it. I was deep in denial. Let me explain what was actually happening physiologically on day 21. When your body is overtrained, your central nervous system becomes sensitized. Pain signals amplify. Things that would normally feel like mild discomfort register as sharp warnings. That's not weakness, that's your nervous system doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's waving a flag. Studies on overtraining syndrome show that performance doesn't just plateau, it actively decreases. Your muscles lose contractile strength, your coordination suffers, your motor patterns break down. That last part is important, because when your form breaks down under fatigue, the load shifts. Instead of your chest and triceps taking the force, your joints absorb it, your tendons, your ligaments. You're no longer training muscle, you're loading passive structures that were never meant to handle that stress. And I could feel it. Every rep on day 21 felt like the movement was wrong, like my body was compensating for something it couldn't name. I should have stopped there. I got through my reps that day, barely. The last set, I'm on the floor, arms shaking, and I feel something in my right shoulder that I've never felt before. Not a pop, not a crack, a deep, dull ache that spreads from the front of my shoulder across into my neck. I finished the set. I know. I lay on the floor for about 10 minutes afterward, just breathing, telling myself it was fine, telling myself one more day. That night, I couldn't find a comfortable sleeping position. Every time I rolled onto my right side, my shoulder woke me up. I got maybe 3 hours of sleep. I was putting my body through hell and getting nothing back. Day 22. I woke up and reached for my phone. I couldn't lift my arm above my shoulder. Not sore, not stiff. Straight up couldn't complete the movement. I lay there for about 5 minutes, genuinely scared. I'd felt a sharp pull in my right shoulder on day 21. I'd ignored it, called it DOMS, pushed through anyway. It wasn't DOMS. It was the beginning of shoulder impingement, the rotator cuff getting pinched between the bones with every repetition. I'd been grinding through an injury for days. That's the moment I regretted everything. Not because I failed the challenge, because I'd been so obsessed with not quitting that I stopped listening to the only thing that actually matters, my body. I stopped at day 22. So what actually changed? Physically, my muscular endurance improved significantly. I could feel it. Sets that destroyed me in week 1 felt routine by week 3, until the injury. My chest size, almost no change. Research backs this up. High rep, low resistance training builds endurance, not significant hypertrophy. For visible muscle growth, you need progressive overload, more resistance, not just more reps. The shoulder took 6 weeks to fully recover. 6 weeks of limited pressing. A physical therapist confirmed the impingement and gave me a rehab program. Mentally, I learned something important. There's a difference between discipline and self-destruction. I'd been mistaking one for the other. Here's the real takeaway, and it's not what you expect. The problem wasn't 200 push-ups. The problem was doing them every single day with no recovery, no progression in resistance, and a complete refusal to listen to warning signals. Rest isn't weakness. Recovery is literally when growth happens. If I did this again, I'd do 200 push-ups on alternating days, progressive overload with weighted variance, and the moment my shoulder clicks, I stop. Don't confuse suffering with progress. They're not the same thing. If this saved you from making my mistake, smash like. It actually helps more than you think, and I'll see you in the next one.